Rob Mukai of Acocote Eco Inn in Xcalac, Mexico. I am going to be showing you today how to tie the Acocote Drum Majorette. It's a permit fly. It imitates a swing crab. But some of the materials I'll be using, I use a 20-pound hard mono. Let's see if I can get this here. I like Mason's hard mono, but you can use you know, like the Rio hard alloy or whatever as well. But this is going to be used for the structure to hold the zonkers out of the hook. Also going to be using these silly legs. They're the sand orange black flake. And we use those for the extra legs, and then we'll be using these Grizzly Zonker yellow. I'm not sure why they call it yellow because it looks more olive to me, but and we are going to be doing an olive version of this. There's also a cream version of this, but we'll be tying the olive for now. And then using Furry foam light olive for the body. We'll get going with this. I'm using a 1/0 Gamakatsu SC-15 hook. It's a wide gap hook. We like that for the permit. And I'm also using a olive thread at 210 denier. It's like a big fly thread. So basically, first thing we're going to do is put some thread down the body, and then we're going to be using a large bead chain for this because it is a 1/0 hook. It's relatively large, so I'm using a 7/32 barbell eye, and we'll just go ahead and put that on right in front of the hook eye. Make sure it's on there tight. And then once you've got it on there, make sure it's straight. And then I hit it with a little super glue. You can use Zap-A-Gap or whatever your favorite super glue is. Next, I'll be tying in some of the 20-pound mono, but I'm going to get actually two different sizes. One is going to be a 3/4 inch. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of measure it to 3/4. Play 3/4 there, and then cut it off. And then the other piece will be measuring off to a 3/8, so measure it off to there, so it's 3/8. So we'll start with the 3/4 inch piece. And basically all we're doing is going to tie it right off the back. What this is really going to do is just going to hold the zonker out of the back of the hook bend, so when you cast it, it doesn't make a mess. So I'm going to cut 2 1.5-inch sections of the rabbit zonker. So just gonna measure it off here. So there is our 1.5 inch there. Trick to cutting rabbit zonkers is you can grab it like this and then pull down on it like this, and you can get the hair out of the way, and then just you can cut through like that, and then you leave all the hair available on it so you don't cut the hair off. So I'm going to cut 2 of these sections. So again, another 1.5 inches. like that. Again, do the same thing with the scissors, just kind of lay it down there and pull down and then kind of. Now one of the tricks with working with this, because the hair kind of gets all over the place, is I use some water and just kind of wet it down so that the hair kind of behaves. Now what we're going to do is just going to tie it on here. And if you flip it over, you can see I want the mono to be going equal to or parallel to the zonker strip. So just kind of make sure that everything is nice and straight. And that's one of the zonkers. And then the other one, you take, again, helps to wet it down. Now this is the arm that's going to be folded across. So what we do is we're going to just kind of wrap it a couple of times loosely so we can adjust it. But you want to turn it over and you want it to kind of be coming off at an angle a little up and out. Like about that. So it's not vertical like this. It's off at, you know, probably about 30 degrees, I guess, and kind of pointing forward. Now we're going to take the other piece of mono, and basically what we're going to do is, it was 3/8. We're going to take that last eighth and just kind of bend it. And I'm going to smash it down a little bit so that the thread will bind to it, but I don't know if you can see that. You see how that, let's get the, oops. There you go. So you can see how it's just kind of bent at an angle. So this is just going to hold the zonker strip out away from the body a little bit. So basically, again, you want to kind of tie it on there so that it is parallel to the rabbit zonker there. And kind of tie that down. And I like to hit it a little bit with some super glue here as well, just to now. The next step is going to put the clear cure goo. I use this tack-free Flex to kind of glue this on. And all we're going to do here is basically just put a touch along this little piece of mono and kind of glue it onto the little rabbit strips. So kind of make sure that it's all attached, and then you hit it with the light. And again, all this is doing is just going to prevent the rabbit from folding on itself and getting fouled in the hook when you cast this thing. Okay, and then we do the same thing on the other side. You can use a bodkin if you want to kind of spread it on there and make sure it gets underneath as well. And kind of hold it so that it attaches nicely there, and then hit it with the light. Alright, next we're going to put on the silly legs, and I like to use 3, so we'll just kind of, we'll take these 3 off the end here. And these go up on the top like this. I make it so there's about 1 inch or so sticking out the back. And a trick here is if you stretch the silly leg material as you're wrapping, when you bind it down and you let it go, it'll actually splay the legs out a little bit, which is kind of what you want. So you also want to do it going the other direction, so wrap forward. And again, kind of pull the legs tight so that they'll splay the way you want them. And then on these ones, I just cut them again about 1 inch, but you can adjust that after you've completed it to make sure you get good proportions. But again, you can pull them apart a little bit. I will get some furry foam and kind of fold it over like this. See this, you fold it over, and then I just put the Centavo piece, 10 Centavo piece, right on top of it, hold it like that, and then I just cut around it with some scissors. And this will give you your crab body. Now, it's not particularly clean, but I can clean it up a little bit. There are little bits that are kind of hanging out there. So then, here's my crab body. Now, if you open it up, it kind of makes a little figure 8 like that. Now, the next piece is getting your eyes. Now, I actually made a video on how to make these eyes, but these are basically glass beads on 20-pound mono with a little clear cure goo on them, and I think they make some pretty cool eyes with a little translucence to them. But cut them off at about 1/4 inch, so just like this. And then what you can do is I use marine goop, amazing marine goop, for gluing it together. So I'll just take a glob of it, on my bodkin, and then just, I think I want a little bit more here. So let's kind of spread it around a little bit. So now you just take your eyes, and I'll just kind of get them in the glue here. And you want them to kind of be even. Now, Oh, before you do that, I actually gotta quick finish this off, so I'll pull this over to the side here and then just do a quick whip finish. Do it a couple of times. And hit that with some super glue just so it won't come apart on you. Okay, now you can put the body on. Make sure you get the legs out of there. And again, make sure your legs are kind of distributed around. And squish it together. Now the final step, and this is going to require use a little bit of water, and again you get the hair wet. Your clear cure goo hydro, it's hard to see there, you go, and put it on the hair just on the end here. Okay, so now you take your bodkin and split the hair. Now the trick here too is flipping it around. You can see I haven't kind of split it down the middle of the leather, so you need to do that. Then you need to make sure that this stuff up here is split evenly as well. Okay. Now that you got that, you hit it with the light. So this is basically the same way you do a Kung Fu crab claw. Okay, and you do the same with the other. Hit it again with some hydro. See if you can split the hairs. Okay, and again, hit it with the light. Flip it over, hit the other side of the light. And then the last thing is you want to hit it. I use an olive Sharpie with a fine tip and just kind of put some dots on the back just to give it a little bit of, also down here, maybe, boy, this is, there you go. Make it look a little bit more natural. Oh boy, okay, make sure that stays together. There you go. And that is the Acocote Drum Majorette. Now what you're going to do when you're fishing this is when you strip it, this hand is going to go across his face like this and in a swimming motion, and this is kind of how the crabs swim. So you're going to want to do a long slow strip, and then actually sometimes it's good to let it sink, and then when it sinks the claws will open up again into a defensive position, and the fish seem to like to hit it on the ground as well. So anyway, that is the Acocote Drum Majorette.